Okay, so what I did, I upload all the uh, required file in the Git repo mentioned in the YouTube video description. Uh, so this is the installation document bootstrap if you want to do manually. And if you go down, I update this file with step number 9. For the WeaveNet installation, last time we used this method, and at the end of that last session, we uninstall the WeaveNet. For the Calico, also I added. Uh, so how you can pull down the manifest of Calico, or how to apply, and how you can define your own. See that we will do this practically. So first of all, I need to connect with my master node. And in parallel to, I have to connect with the third worker node I am going to join today. Info. Okay, so last time I bootstrap my master node, and it was up and running. For this verification, what I will do this time, last time I used the CMD and git bash terminal. So today I will use this MobaXterm terminal. This will also provide you the functionality of Vim and cat and all the Linux command line utility. So here I can see kubectl. Yes, kubectl I can see get nodes. Right now I just power on the cluster, so all the services will take a while to start. Okay. The issue is I am pointing to the wrong API server. This is my another installation of OpenShift. So what I did actually, I change uh, environment variable to the OpenShift. So that's why I need to switch it back to Kubernetes. I think I put this. So whenever you are opening this terminal, I think you need to restart the whole mobile external or it will work. CTL. No, it is still pointing to the old environment variable. It is pointing to the wrong file. Actually, what is the problem? This mobile extern is not getting the new environment variable. You can see its output. If I run kubectl here, it will acknowledge me. But this one is not acknowledging me because the environment variable is wrong. I don't know how to, I can. Yeah, now it's good. kubectl get nodes so that you can see our all worker nodes are in good condition. Ready mean all the components are running. If I look here, kubectl get pods -a. So kube system, all pods are in running state. So container creating, yeah, I think it is. Last time I think we okay, last time I tried to perform some settings, so I need to just revoke everything. kubectl sometime it will not delete. If you want to delete some pod, you can use this command kubectl delete pod, pod ID and namespace. So if you do a force, it will do something like you did the docker rm-f. Forcefully, it will remove. Let me remove all these pending. Actually, core DNS is also trying to terminate since I powered down my cluster last time. Okay, so now we are, our cluster is in this state that etcd API controller manager proxy is up and running, but and scheduler is up and running, but not the core DNS because so far we have not created the last time we uninstalled the WeaveNet, the CNI. So that's why this is in pending state. If I show you -o wide, you can see this. These nodes are. This is trying to run over the worker master node, but we don't have any CNI. That's why it's failing. So first of all, let me remove these additional pod. Okay, no problem. We can use these. So first, quickly, let me deploy this WeaveNet again. So last time we had a detailed overview about the WeaveNet. WeaveNet, what we check that how you can deploy the virtual networks and how the its VXLAN tunnel is making the interconnectivity of different worker nodes. So if I deploy it again, let me deploy this again because uh, I want to show you one more thing. kubectl apply -f, and the fourth worker node I also need to join, third worker node. So to regenerate the token, what I have to do, there is a command in the documentation on the master node. I can run this command.
When we required this regeneration on which
Whenever
time?
you are going to create, join a new worker node, you need this token. So if you lost your old token, you can regenerate. So this I am going to apply on this worker node 3, and its IP is 104. Okay. Okay. What is the issue? Basically, I have not applied this script on this uploaded this script. It will take a while to install all the requirements. Meanwhile, I will check that this manifest is applied, and what is the status of kubectl get pods cube system. Okay, so it is trying to launch the WeaveNet on all the worker nodes, all nodes. So you can see they are getting directly all the components. All these core components running in the cube system will get the IP according to their host machine, because they have to communicate with each other directly. So they should not be dependent on the CNI. So these are all the component are directly reachable by the worker node IPs, whatever the IPs where their pod are running. We will understand this concept later, that how you can assign, bypass the CNI IP address allocation, uh, and directly allocate the IP to the pod, associate the IP of the worker node with your pod. That is a different topic. But right now we can see these core DNS are trying to create, because they are not able to get this WeaveNet. And right now I just deployed this WeaveNet on 3 worker node, and you can see it is trying to pull on this machine, and there is a on worker node 2, it is getting some issue. It will retry after some time, it will be fixed, no issue. But we have to look on this one, the worker node 3. Okay, here I need to export some, because sometime I have to troubleshoot directly from the master node, so it is important to kube config should be. Is available kubectl. it is again trying to start it on third worker node. Now you can see one of the container started, and another one is still in pending. It will take some time. So our WeaveNet is ready on all worker and master node. So now if I go directly to, so let me just first of all connect this third node, worker node, with the control plane. Okay, this is done. Now I just need to accept at most one argument received. Okay, I think I gave some extra spaces. Okay, this node is now in good state. If you get any error during this worker node joining or cube Adam init process, so you can do the cube Adam reset. It will roll back whatever it does. And now if I run the nodes, I can see the fourth node is worker node is not ready state. Why? Because WeaveNet is trying to deploy the virtual switch on this worker node. So far, this is not ready. Until this virtual switch will not be ready, it will not define this worker node in a ready state, because ready mean it is ready to accept the new workload. So it will take some time to pull down the image. So now, so meanwhile, what I will do, let me see what I deployed last time, kubectl. To get pods, I deployed in default namespace. So these are all in terminating state because I delete the, so let me just clean up everything. So I have not defined the namespace, so it will directly use the default namespace. Okay. So now, okay, let me show you the kubectl get namespaces. Last time we checked that we have 4 namespaces by default. Let me create a new namespace. To create a new namespace, You can use kubectl create ns is a short name, or you can write here namespace complete, or you can create a namespace just like a dev namespace. So we'll look here now, a dev namespace is created. So I mean, this is namespace is a resource of cluster. Similarly, pod is a resource of cluster. So there are a lot of resources the cluster is providing us. So there is a command that we can see this cluster, what type of resources this cluster is providing us. kubectl API resources command will show us that how many resources are manageable by this Kubernetes cluster. Uh, so you can see this whole list is populated. So this whole list is showing us information that what type of resources we can create. So for example, you can see the nodes. This is the full name and this is a short name. Its API variant is V1, we will understand this. And its scope of work is on not coming under the namespace level. Some resources are coming under namespace, some are not. So when we are queuing the node, we don't need the namespace. We are queuing this resource on cluster level. Similarly, namespaces are not coming under the namespace level. So you can see a lot of other resources are also coming directly under the cluster. For that reason to do you don't need to specify the namespace. So for example, I create a pod. So you can see the pod is a resource that will come under the namespace. Its value is true. And its API variant is V1. This we will use when we will write the manifest. So every resource, so these are all the resources. So we have to understand these resources. Just like last time we checked the config map. This is the full name, this is the short name. So this is also coming under the namespace. So namespaces are providing us within a namespace, a config map can come. Okay, so whenever you are confused about your cluster, and if you are managing an existing cluster, you are going in some environment and you want to see what resources are configured so far, you can see here. We mean what type of resources this cluster, because these are the default resources coming with the cluster. Sometime you will see more resources here because you can create your own resource too, API resource too. For that reason, you can use the custom resource definition. There is, I believe, here. So there is one resource, custom resource definition. Its short is CRD or CRDS, and it's API variant. So if you want to create your own resource, we will do this. But in that case, you will add your own resource here, just like a pod or something like this. But so far, we just have to understand the existing resources. Now, if I check the kubectl,
These resources behind there is some procedures or functions or
yes, there is a complete procedure of whenever you will deploy some resource, like you will create a role. This is a complete the complete functionality is added in the cluster, so that cluster know about this.
great.
So now you can see my third worker node is also up and running. So let me now quickly create a pod. So this time I will create a pod with the way of manifest. Last time what I ran the command kubectl I run the pod with the pod name, and then image name is equal to image name, for example, Nginx I gave. So actually these commands are self-explanatory. If you run kubectl run hyphen hyphen help, so you can see there are a lot of examples given. This is very simplest. Run pod name nginx at this with this image. Okay, run this one and also specify the port. This port is not mean just like the port we define in the our Docker file. This port is just defining what port is actually running in this image. It will not affect the actual port running inside this. This is just a label, a representation. Later on, we will take the leverage of this port definition. It will automatically find the port. Similarly, you can see an environment variable. You know, when we in the Docker we use the environment variable to expose within the worker node within the container. So we can use this hyphen e and v. So there are two environment variable exposed, and you can assign the label. Label is very important. By default, when you are running the pod, it will automatically get the label with the name of the pod you are getting. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so this label is automatically assigned. I will show you. Similarly, there is a dry run. Dry run is to not implement this pod. I mean, just check is this syntax is right or wrong, and whatever. There are a lot of other things we will see with the passage of time. Similarly, by default, restart policy of the work of the pod is always. So you want to override this value. Okay. So similarly, I am going to just deploy a very simple pod with the name app1 hyphen hyphen image nginx I'm using. And I'm creating another app2 with some different image uh, in namespace dev. Okay, and app3 with I can say Tomcat in dev namespace. So for you, kubectl get pod hyphen a, all namespaces pod I want to see with the scheduled worker nodes. So worker node 2, worker 3, worker 1, good. We have each pod on different worker node. So each pod will get a different IP. So it will take some time to pull the image. And if you want to see the real time what is happening, you can add a W switch. That will be the watch switch. Watch will show you the real time updates happening in this command output. Okay. So meanwhile, I will show you kubectl get pod. For example, pod name is app1, and it's in the default namespace hyphen hyphen show labels. Sorry, ELS, I think. You can see the label is also defined automatically with the value run is equal to app1. Whatever the name of the pod is defined as label. So this value can be any value, just like whatever label you want to assign. You can define all your own values. So
What
it
is
the yes, yes.
What is difference between the name and the label? Is there any, if we change the, for example, run is equal to different name, then how
No,
this
name
is
actually, whenever you are interacting when the different resources of the cluster are interacting with each other. So in that case, they will refer by the label. They will not use the name. So when we will create some network policy or when we will create some service, we will do the networking part, whatever. So everything is represented by the label.
okay? Okay, got it.
So
Very good.
label is very important. If you look your nodes, so you can see the labels are also associated with your master and worker nodes. This is the whole label. So this label is doing some work on the back end. We will discuss this in further sessions, but each worker node you can see the has a multiple labels. So you can assign multiple labels. And with those labels, then you can identify what type of this node is or what type of this resource is. So when we did the cube Atom init, so I showed you the whole output. That output showed us that what label is by default assigned. We can edit these labels. So it is not recommended to edit these labels. You can add your own labels too for your own identification.
Clear.
So right now, what I have kubectl get pods -a. Let me see what is the stress situation. So this is in running state. This is still in creation state. Okay, so -o wide. So worker node 3 got this IP scheme. So let me quickly log into worker node 3. I am already here. If I see IPA, okay, this is the WeaveNet virtual switch created here. This is the whole subnet, and its VXLAN is created, and IP space route. So far, this worker node can reach to this subnet only, to 1046. I think 1046. Yeah, this is its own subnet. So let me just wait to create these containers too. Then we will see some, because whenever your pod is up, then you will get the static route for the remote network.
Sorry, I do not understand. What is this subnet 10.46?
This is created by the virtual switch.
Okay, okay.
So virtual switch actually cluster gave this CNI a big subnet, and then WeaveNet did the further subnetting. Apply the further. I believe this was 10.0.0.0 slash 8, and now it defined the further pool of IP for this worker node with slash 12. So on each worker node, it will define a pool of IP. Let me connect to the other worker nodes too. One, two, and three. Worker node 1 we have, and worker node 2, 3 we don't have. You can see this subnet got this worker node got this virtual switch with different subnet. This is worker node. This is worker node 3, worker node 2. This is worker node 1, and this is worker node 2. It has a 38. We check the pods are. Actually, this is the container creating state. So if you want to see what is happening on the back end with this container creation state, there is a command kubectl describe uh, with the pod name. You can use the short form PO, or you can write the PODS. So kubectl describe pod will give you the events detail of this pod creation. So you can see the first one is normal scheduler. Took 8 minutes ago. Decided this pod will go to this worker node. Okay. Failed creating pod sandbox. Failed to create a pod sandbox. Error. Failed to network. Set up the network. So what is this problem? Actually, I set up the pod before deploying this CNI. So switch was not there. I tried to deploy this pod. So this could be the reason. So let me just delete this pod.
In the event detail, we can also see the namespace if
Yeah,
you create the
everything. Yeah, I have not
okay.
showed you. Just I showed you the event, but if you go back, everything is mentioned here. Pod name, what namespace it is belong to. Service account we will discuss. What worker node IP, when it was created, started, container ID. I mean, container ID will not show here, but the image name used in this container, what mount points we have defined. This is the default mount point. So all these informations are given here. Okay,
All
this is
right.
the quality of service. We will discuss the all gradually, step by step, taints, toleration, everything we will discuss. So let me just so when you are not using the -force, it could take a while to delete the resource. So force will delete it quickly.
If I do not remember the namespace, so delete PO directly. I can run this command without the namespace
No,
parameter. Okay.
when I will delete PO, it means you are deleting directly from the default namespace.
Okay. Thank you.
So when you are not defining the namespace, you are performing on default namespace. Otherwise, you must have to. So for example, I am doing like this kubectl delete pod. This pod name is app2. So it will give me error because it is running in dev namespace. No resource found. I must have to define like this. Okay. So let me kubectl run pod. Pod name I can say app2. Okay. Sorry, app2 is running app1 in dev namespace. This time I will use a dry run is equal to client. I showed you this in the example. Dry run client CLI client. This mean it will just check the syntax is good or is there any error or not. It will not. So it gave me the error. You have not defined the image. Without image, you cannot run a container. So it is dry run. It will not create the resource. If I look here in my cluster, there is no pod like app1. Okay. So dry run, you can check your command syntax because this is a very simple command. But in practical life, you can have a command based on multiple lines. In that case, it will help you. Okay. And it will identify you to see what type of error you are getting. And you can also generate its manifest by -oyaml. -oyaml will generate this command output in if you write this whole pod creation in YML format, what will be the format? This will be the format. So this is the actual manifest we can use. We can use in our. You can create this a file with this manifest, and we can apply this manifest to create this pod resource. So in our practical life. We will not use commands every time to run the resource. Sometime we will use, but mostly we will create a manifest for that specific resource, and then we will preserve or save some those manifests in some Git repository or anywhere, and those manifests will be used to apply all the resources on your cluster. So this is the very first manifest I created, and I want to save this output with the greater than sign. For example, I can create here a directory. Uh, Simple, I can save this app one.yml. So here, this manifest file is saved. If I showed you, I think VIM. Great. VIM is working, but it is not giving me the very good output because this VIM is just VI is also giving me. So spaces it is giving me in okay, this is the actual file I created. So now if you look this manifest, so you can see the API variant v1. This is the same API variant. You don't know what API variant this pod kind. You can see the kind is pod. Mean kind is the resource. Whatever I show you in this command kubectl API resources. Okay, kubectl API resources. I showed you the resource pod. If I grab here pods. So pod API variant was v1. The same variant you have to put here. Okay, so every resource could have a different variant, and it is a namespace based. So this resource, whenever you will define in your manifest a resource name, uh, it will come after the kind. I mean, what kind of resource it is? It is a pod. Okay. Then this is the metadata about this pod, and indentation is imperative. Two spaces indentation is happening because this is a YML format. If you change this indentation, it will not run. So creation timestamp null label. This is a label. I can add my own label to here. This is the name of the pod, in which namespace it will go, and these are all the specs of this container. So this container, you will use this image only, one image, and this is the name of the container when it will launch or directly on the worker node. Resource limit we have not assigned. Wherever you see these two curly brackets, it's mean there could be something under this resource, but we have defined unlimited. We have defined the default value, you can say, and the default value is unlimited resources. I mean, unlimited CPU and RAM it can occupy. DNS policy cluster first, mean it if you want to resolve this pod, want to resolve the name to IP for another pod, it will use the cluster DNS. Restart policy always mean whenever this image lost its service, container lost its service, it will try to start it again. And then status is also empty. You can define multiple values under the status. We will dig down this gradually. So if I do kubectl apply -f, this manifest is app1.yml. There is some conversion YML. Controller character are not allowed. Actually, I think there is some syntax error due to I am using this MOBA exterm. So better to use some Linux machine that is providing this VIM editor. So now I am jumping on the master node, but you can create a separate worker Linux machine just for the purpose of this kubectl connectivity, because in your professional life you will not get the master node access.
Hmm.
So yes,
So this script for the YML you have created. So basically, in production, we have to. So how we know that this is the predefined, or we have to create ourselves manually? All the parameters should be there in the file.
yeah, we have to define. So because as a human you cannot remember all the manifest values.
Mm.
Okay, so and you cannot write a manifest from scratch. So this is the way to create the manifest, or you can get the manifest from the documentation. I will show you.
Okay, sure.
So if I'm creating another pod, um, so app1.
In this
This
command,
is
we have default namespace.
a default namespace. So here I can add a namespace to dev. Okay. So now it will go under the default dev namespace. So when I will apply this kubectl apply -f, so it is created. So same if I run this command, it will also create the resource. But now I create my own manifest and apply this. And when I get this kubectl, I get pods -n dev. So it is trying to create on which worker node. Worker node 2 it's trying to create. It will take some time. Watch. It will update here. Runtime, what is happening. Uh, until I think it will take some time to pull the image. So meanwhile, I will show you the whole documentation of this Kubernetes is given this in this kubernetes.io. You don't need any book, any uh, to any documentation, third-party documentation to manage your cluster. This is the best resource you will open kubernetes.io slash talk slash talks, and whatever your query is, you can write it. This is the complete end-to-end documentation of Kubernetes, including its securities concept, everything. This is a huge document. So for example, I want to see what is pod. So pod in Kubernetes, what is pod? What resource is confusing you, what type of this resource is, you directly type the name of this resource and you will get the best documentation. So what is pod? Pod are the smallest deployable unit of the computing that you can create and manage in Kubernetes. So the pod, the whole story of the pod is written here. You must have to read this whole documentation. Okay, and if you go down, it will give you some manifest, sample manifest. It is running some Nginx variant 1.14. Okay, port is also defined in my manifest. I have not used the port, so I create with the dry run hyphen OYML. That command add all the parameters, but all the parameters are not imperative. Some are important, some are not. Some are you can skip, but in that file everything is mentioned, whatever you can do, like resources you can define, but resources are not defined. Then you can apply this. You can directly apply from some URL directly providing this manifest. So very first manifest we wrote for our pod resource. Okay, so now you can see, if you read this documentation, it is recommending you in parallel to pod, you should also know about the deployment, stateful set and daemon set. Okay, uh, so just take a look on this whole documentation once while you are starting with the pod. So this is the diagram. It is showing a pod having two containers. Okay, why this is a web server. A consumer is directly hitting to this web server inside the pod, and in parallel there is a helping container, and that is a file puller, and both are writing looking to the same volume. Same thing we did in the Docker. We ran two containers and both were pointing to the same volume. So the responsibility of one container is to pull some data from some outside network and compute that data and put in everything in this volume. And this volume is readable by this web server and consumer can read this data. So this is the reason a pod can have more than one uh, container. So this is a sporting container. Only one application, only one container inside a pod will be responsible to serve the external traffic. Rest of all containers will be the helping container, or you can say the compute container. Okay. So far what we did, we have not used any volume. We have not created any parallel container. So it is still in container creating state. What is this issue? CTL describe. What is this error? Calico. Actually, what I did, I tried to, yes, I got it. Actually, last time, some days ago, I tried to set up a Calico and it is still hanged on with that Calico network. Something is still running on this worker node regarding the Calico. Let me just quickly go to this worker node.
Calico is same like
Yeah, I will do. I will do. Actually, Calico will confuse you when so I just need to work on node 2. I need to reboot this. When it will reboot, its kubelet will be down, and when you will run this kubectl get nodes, So you will see it will be not in ready state after some time. Let me deploy this manifest on some different, again, it will go now by the scheduler in some different uh, this time it is going to worker node 1.
It will automatically decide that it should go to the worker one, node 1 or 2.
No, yes, scheduler decided. You can see in the error log, in this message, the scheduler decided to land this pod 2. So I think this problem is related to the Calico I tried. It is
Mhm.
plugin type. Yeah, there is a configuration
Like,
file on each worker node that is not removed, and that is conflicting with the WeaveNet. So I think I don't remember exactly. There is some CNI net T directory. Yes, you must remember this directory. You can see
yeah,
this is the Calico, so you must have to remove this file
good.
about whatever is given about this Calico. I don't need to restart this worker node. I just need to remove these files. So when you are switching in between different CNI, for example, in your organization today you have Cisco, tomorrow you decide with different vendor. So you will also change some stuff, configuration stuff, or a lot of things, So same thing like here. I mean, you must have to roll back everything related to old vendor. So etc CNI, yeah, RM-F. So actually it is trying to read this file every time.
Mm.
This is up now, this is up now, and I believe I don't need to do anything. You see the same, this error, pod sandbox change will killed, okay, failed to pull image error. Now it is trying to pull image.
Yeah,
Okay,
normal.
kubectl pod hyphen and def namespace. If you go now, it's in the running state. And if you see hyphen o wide, it is getting this IP. Okay, so let me set up, copy this manifest with the app 3. Okay, I'm using the same manifest, copying here, and app 3, sorry, I copied with the app 2. So you need to copy with app 3. So what I did, I don't need to remember my command. I just copy, I just change everything here with the app 3. Container name will be app3 namespace. If I want to change, okay, I can add here more label. For example, app, my app is something I like, any descriptive name you can say. uh, view sorry, DevOps concepts. And this is a container, okay. And for example, uh, I want to launch two containers within this pod. What I will do, I will just copy the second container is, for example, okay, remember one thing, in a pod, the two container with same pod you cannot run. So you must have to use a different container. For example, there is some third party. I cannot remember right now what pod I can use. For example, I can use the Tomcat. Okay, Tomcat. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Alma Linux I can run, but Alma Linux directly, simply you will run. It will not contain any service. The service is mandatory. Tomcat I will use, and its name is, I can say Tomcat. Container name will be resources I gave unlimited. Everything is same. So this app 3.
Resources unlimited means which you showed the all resources that will be this will container will use any resource without any limits, right?
No, no, no. Resources mean the compute resource. Whichever worker node is decided for this uh, pod, it can consume all the CPU RAM.
Okay. Okay. What is the best practice in the production? Usually
Yeah,
we will
production,
find
we,
out.
we will limit the resources. If you go to the
Okay.
documentation, let me do this. So right now you can see these three pods are running. Okay. And it has two container out of two running inside. And if I do the inspection, inspection mean describe in dev namespace. You can see this, it contain two pods. Okay. Two, sorry, containers. Both the definition is given in the description. And you can see the successfully pulled images, successfully pulled images. Okay. So now, if I want to see the logs of any pod, so I can use kubectl logs, for example, uh, app1 in dev namespace. So these are logs. Remember here, you will not put like pods, pod, or because just you have to define the namespace and the pod name. So it will pull the logs. Okay, if I pull the log of this second one, I just need to type pep2. These are the logs related to Apache, which is running inside this second container. If I run over app3, so these are the logs coming for first container, not from the second container. But when I describe this container, I can see this pod, I can see first one is app1, second one is Tomcat. So when you are working with a pod that has multiple containers, so you can pull the logs with this way. Hyphen C, I want to pull the logs from this container. This time these logs came from the Tomcat container. The another one container that is running, I believe that's its name was app1. So with this way, hyphen C switch will help you to jump into specific container to fetch the logs of the that container. Okay, so these things we also done in Docker, which we see everything in this Docker how we can. So first of all, I am giving you all the ideas about the basic container, the pod management. So how we can see the logs and how we can run it, how we can create the manifest and multi-container and kubectl execute is a command, the same command just like docker execute hyphen it. It is the same switch interactive with the kubectl. And I want to see app3 and I want to jump into its terminal. So app3 not found. What is this error? Because app3 is the name of the pod, but there is no container inside this pod with name app3. So I must have to define the container is app1. Sorry. Oh, what is the error I did? Actually, I have not defined the namespace. In the default namespace, it was trying to. So app3 not found. Just a minute. kubectl.
At 3 we have two containers over there
No,
in that.
yes, it's the same thing I want to show you. Here you will use, uh, just a minute. For example, I'm using F1. Pods F1 not found. I think I need to define this.
We are running this command from
Yes, like this.
master.
Yeah, I was running the wrong command. Actually, the namespace should be before this command because this is supposing this as a whole command bash hyphen ndev. This was all stuff was going inside the container terminal. So this command we actually want to send within the container. So hyphen hyphen, why I wrote hyphen hyphen, this is the syntax. Now I jumped into the container. This is the container. This is not my master node. Okay, so I can see IPA command is not running or every apt update. I can install the ping. So CNI is providing the end-to-end connectivity to the external network. So let's see. Uh, so with this way, you can jump into any container. Hyphen hyphen is the syntax. If you will not provide, it will give you error. Whatever command you want to run inside the pod container, you must have to use hyphen hyphen and then that specific command. So to jump into this container, you can use sh or bash. It's taking too much time. Let me jump into some other container.
Within this container, if I ping or apt get update, so it will use labeling, right? Because the IP is not there, and we will the all communication based on the label.
No. IP is there. All the
Okay.
containers within this same pod will get the same IP. I'll show you.
Okay. Okay.
Mm. So for what I did, I ran app one. Let me go to app two. And if I jump into dev and have to bash, this is Apache. This is based on taking.
Maybe gateway is problem. It should be immediately.
Yeah, it should immediately, but actually there is some problem with the network connectivity to the external network. It is not able to resolve the query, I think. And I believe this problem. Okay, let me test this. How we can troubleshoot this issue. Uh, uh, I will the hyphen white. Actually, I want to use the worker node 3 was app 2. It was getting the same issue, I think. App 2, dev, and bash. It was getting the same issue. Let me do with app 3 having 2 pods. This is the problem. You can see the container creating the DNS. The pod cannot resolve name to IP, and the control plane, the pods in the namespace, the DNS service is not running. So why this DNS service is still stuck? Because my master node is also confused with the CNI. Got the
With
point?
yeah, with the what's the
Yeah,
inter yeah, Calico, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, on this.
So my master node is because this, I think this time it is trying to launch these pods on, just a minute. Yeah, quickly it ran on master node. Both are running on the master node, and master node virtual switch was not working. So I fixed it. Now it's working. Now it's in the running state. And if I go here, I can see it ran. Now I will jump into any pod. So these are the challenges you can get in your real life, just like I created here. Because the troubleshooting, yeah, now it's working.
Excellent.
So now I will show you how pod to pod communication is happening. For example, apt install IP utils ping utility I am installing. So I ran, if I run here, get pod. So right now I am just anyone could quickly check what package I need in Debian to run the IP command. Anyone, please. It will save my time. So right now I am in this pod app 2, and app 3 has IP. App 3 pod has IP 1038.04. So if I do a ping, you can see the pod is communicating across with the other pod IP directly, and
Uh, uh,
its
uh,
IP is
uh,
different.
okay, okay.
So it is
So,
the whatever pod I use the pod app 2, and it is connecting with different network. Okay.
oh,
Similarly, it can reach
awesome.
to this network too. If I get
Mhm.
into again in this container and I try to ping. What is the package name anyone had?
I think so. IP utils dash ping.
No,
IP
no, that is
utils.
for the ping. I want you want to uh, I want to see if IP command not work. Yeah, this is the package I need to install. Yes, this one. So you can see I am inside the pod. This is the pod IP 1046.01. This is the gateway. 000. Actually, this is a big subnet. This is not a network ID. This is the actual IP, and it's this is the IP. So inside the pod, it is also showing me the same IP. Okay, 46.1, whatever API is giving me. And if I jump into this app3,
Yeah.
kubectl execute -it app3 -n dev namespace, and I want to, first of all, let me
Both in the app 3, both container has the same IP, 38.0.4.
will have the same IP. I will show you. Describe app3. First of all, I need to grab the container's name. App3 contain app2. Actually, I have not, sorry, but I describe app2. I need to describe app3. Okay, it contains two container. One name is app1 and Tomcat. So kubectl -n dev and -c this container and use the bash. Okay, now I am landed into the Tomcat. So apt update. I will install ping. I will install this utility IP route 2. Okay, now IPA command is showing me this IP. Whatever IP I showed you, just a minute, let me close all the additional. 38.04. 38.04. Okay. Now I will jump into the second container. I will install the same commands. Second container name is app1 inside this pod. You can see both container got the same IP. So container to container communication on the base of IP will not happen. I mean, they will use if they want to communicate with each other, they will use the local host. So both are reachable by the local host IP. So this was the IP concept. And now if I ping from within this container to rest of the containers, these all are reachable. 32 network is reachable. Other one is 46. I think I am 38. 46 is reachable. All the communication is happening from pod to pod from its gateway using VXLAN tunnel to within the cluster. And now if I show you the route, IP space route, uh, so this static route is actually routing the traffic to the external network. Okay, so now I am going to remove this WeaveNet. And one more thing, if I try to ping this IP from within the cluster, this IP is reachable from all the worker nodes. Okay, because the virtual network is directly associated with this operating system. That's why it can reach, because this network is a part of this operating system, this server.
Okay, so based on this one, if as once you will showing the diagram, there is two containers in one pod. So if both container has the same IP, so what we will do, we will expose. If someone is in the diagram, it will insiding the code or data, and the other container is basically output for some other application. So in this case,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
In this
how?
case, you can inside a pod, two different application you can run, and both should be on different port.
Okay, got it. Excellent.
Because
Got
if you cannot run the same port on same IP two time. So that's why I have not used HTTPD. If you use the second image as HTTPD, it will also open the port 80. The Nginx will also open the port 80. Both will conflict. Only one will run. You will see in the error described when you will describe. So that's why I use Tomcat. Tomcat is using port 8080. Okay, and I believe I have Telnet. And you can directly, no, from this master node, I cannot, I can telnet. Yeah, I have telnet, and if I telnet, if I telnet to this IP from to port 8080, you can see this is responded by Tomcat container, and to port 80 on the same IP is responded by Nginx.
it.
Okay. So this is the basic concept we learn about the pod IPs allocation and their communication and the way of routing. One more thing I want to see, 46, 32, 38, 2, 1. Let me connect the 1, 2, 3, and 4th. In your practical life, you don't need to jump on directly on worker or master node. You will directly only manage everything by kubectl. But so far we are learning the concept of networking. That's why I am directly going on each worker node. Even in when you are in cloud, you don't have access to your master node. They will not expose the master node to you. They will only give you the worker nodes access. Okay, so now let me just quickly kubectl, this weavenet is running. So I know I applied this weavenet with this manifest. If I open this manifest, I don't want to show you this right now, but this manifest contain same like we wrote the pod manifest. So all the resources required for this WeaveNet are written in this manifest. So if you want to delete some resource and you apply that resource by the manifest, you can use kubectl delete pod delete -f, just like you use kubectl apply. Now I am going to delete this WeaveNet virtual network. Okay, so it is terminating all the virtual switches. Okay, now the challenge is your running application will not work properly when you remove these virtual switches. So you must have to delete all the applications running. And when those application will relaunch, they will get the new IP from the new CNI. So this is basically a planned downtime activity. Whenever you are switching from one WeaveNet CNI to another CNI, it will be a downtime. So first of all, I need to do kubectl kubectl delete pod. I am deleting the core DNS2 because this will automatically be created by the cluster, but these are created by me. My responsibility is to recreate them, but I don't want care about these ones. Will automatically be by the cluster. So I'm deleting these pods and not found because it is in the cube system. Okay, just deleted. It is terminated and it is again try to create. Uh, it will take some time to delete these pods, so I can do kubectl delete pod. Okay, now we are again in the situation where core DNS is in container creating state and we don't have any virtual network. Okay, so first of all, I need to do the cleanup from etc CNI net and 10 this weave file from all master and worker nodes so that it should not be conflicting with the new CNI permission denied. Okay. Now, if I go back to my documentation, what I wrote GitHub, in this file, you can see the Calico. It will, first of all, it's better if I pull down this file. Oh, sorry, I wrote the VI. I should use wget. I downloaded this Calico file. This is someone wonderful. Okay, so this is the man. I'll let me show you what is written in this manifest. So you can see it is creating some kind and some service account and lot of config map. Everything it is created by this manifest, will be created by this manifest. So it is also creating its custom resource definition. I showed you a kind custom resource definition. You can create your own uh, type of resource in the cluster. So this is the whole manifest defining what it will create. You don't need to understand this. This is the responsibility of the vendor that is providing you the CNI. So it is creating multiple custom resource, just like it is creating a custom resource BGP peers. Okay, and it is creating a custom resource definition, block affinities. Okay, so multiple custom resources will be created by this CNI. This is an advanced level of CNI. So that's why it's creating multiple resources. So far in my cluster, if I type kubectl get custom resource definition, any custom resource we found no. But when I will apply this manifest, it will create its own resources. It's then it's the responsibility of this mm, Calico containers, whatever the virtual network will belong, they will use those resources. Okay, so in the documentation, you can see I also mentioned if you want to define your own pool, there is something written in this manifest. In this manifest, just CIDR. Uh, yeah, this is commented here. So, when I showed you the cube Adam init and hyphen help, I showed you the pod network. You can define your own pod network during the provisioning of your cluster. WeaveNet is not getting that pod network. I don't know what is the problem, but Calico can get that. WeaveNet will always create its own network, 10, whatever, 10.0.0.0, I think, /8. But here you can define your own. If you have not defined your custom network during the, if you have not defined your custom network during the provisioning of your cluster. So this value will define your custom network. Any network you like, for example, I want to use a very unique network, 11.11.0.0.16. Or I can make it more smaller, like I do 24. Now this pool has only 256 IPs, and it will make the further subnetting and will allocate this pool uh, to each worker node. So if the pool size is lower, you can only launch the limited number of pods. So that's why most of the cluster are using this range. It has enough IPs. Okay, so for example, this is my custom network I want to use. I just modify this one. Rest of all, everything is good. I will just kubectl apply this manifest.
If the master node connected with not connected with the Ethernet, master node has connected with the SAN port or the fiber directly fiber connection. This Calico have the opportunity we can change the interface type or.
No, actually, the fiber or Ethernet or wireless are the way of communication on layer one. So whatever it's the responsibility, mean the operating system don't know exactly how your traffic is going from master to worker node. Either it's a fiber or wireless or internet, whatever. But the thing is, it should be reachable, whatever the medium is. So it only need the IP and the routing table to reach to the other working master, other worker nodes. So now you can see last time when we apply the WeaveNet, it just create a very one-liner, everything was created. Now it create multiple resources. And if I show you custom resource definition, these new resources are added in your cluster by this project. And if you type here kubectl get sorry API resources, you will see more resources. Okay, so these are from this project Calico, and these all resources are this is providing border gateway protocol, PGP peering. So it is an advanced level of CNI. It is providing you more leverage to make the connectivity. So a lot of things are there. You can customize its configuration and you can make the connectivity with the external network. But so far, we just have to understand the concept, how to deploy a different CNI, what changes you need to make on your worker nodes, master nodes. So, but if you want to go with the advanced level of this CNI, you need to read this documentation. Okay, so you will create your new resource based on BGP configuration, just like we create the pod. Now you can create BGP configuration. You can create BG peers. Okay, block of it. I don't know exactly, but these are all the new configuration you can define within your cluster. Similarly, later on, we will also use the Cilium. Cilium is more advanced than this Calico. It is providing a more high level of usability of the connectivity or network and visibility. So, so far, if I now check kubectl get pod hyphen A, so this time I can see a Calico virtual switch is launched on each worker node. You can see these are the virtual switches launched on each worker node, worker 2, 3, master, and 1. And additional resource, a controller manager. Calico control has its own controller to take care the health of all these virtual switches running. Just like in your practical life, you have Cisco controller. Wireless, for example, you are using Cisco wireless network, and all your Wi-Fi you want to manage from the centralized administrative. So that device will manage, will take control of all your wireless network under one umbrella. So this controller manager is taking care the health and everything about these virtual switches launch on each pod. And you can see the Cube controller manager is also running in parallel. So why the Calico used this its own? Because this controller manager responsibility is to manage only the Kubernetes resources, not the third party vendor resources.
Can we
Okay.
say the controller is same the SDN technology? We have the spine and the leaf concept in the Cisco. So can we controller is the spine and we have the Calico nodes are the leaf that is on the data plan. Can we say like this, or this controller is play as the Nagios, just monitoring the CPUs and
No, no, no,
uh,
not monitoring. Monitoring is a different thing. The administration, and directly you don't need to communicate with this one. It all the scripts, all the health check, manifest, everything is written in this controller. This controller responsibility is to take care now here. You can further use some API or third-party monitoring tool to connect with this controller manager, and you can get the metrics about the health status or the bandwidth consumption, but a lot of things, happening in the network. So everything you can control by this controller manager. Okay, so what it is trying to do, it is launching a controller manager on worker node 3. Across a cluster, it can span, go anywhere. And because this is just an engine, so it will take a while uh, to oh yeah, you can see to pull the image. I think it is trying to pull the image. You can see the logs. See it here. Sorry, not the logs. Uh, yeah, is waiting to start. The log came. Describe. Uh, describe need the what? So successfully assigned to worker node 3. Okay. Failed to create the sandbox. Some error happen. File or directory is mounted. Okay. Sandbox change. Something happened for the sandbox. Recreated. And now it is pulling this image from Docker repository for this variant of controller manager. So it will take some time to pull the image, and then it will start. Okay. So if I, first of all, I need to wait for this one. And here you can see one container of core DNS got the IP 11.11.45129. So let's see what worker node pool is assigned by this master one. First of all, let me see. So you can see, still WeaveNet old is running. So actually, I need to make the cleanup of everything here first. Yes, you can see the WeaveNet is still there. It is there, but it is not working anymore. You need to reboot this node, or there will be a command to remove this virtual bridge, old virtual bridge. But the new thing came here is there is a tunnel. VXLAN by use WeaveNet, but uh, this some different tunneling protocol is used by this your Calico, and this IP is assigned to this tunnel, and the pool is assigned from this IP range. I think if I go to this. Yeah, this is the IP. So every node will get a different pool. Its behavior is different than WeaveNet. Still trying to pull the image. I think. Let me.
If this controller will not up, it's mean the communication will not happen, right? Because the controller is all here playing the all.
No, communication I think will happen. It is still trying to pull. Communication will happen. It is just taking, just like your Wi-Fi, Cisco Wi-Fi will work if your controller is down. Because controller is just taking care of the health and whatever new configuration you want to push. I think, I don't know exactly, but it will not affect the functionality. Controller is just to take care of the health of your system.
In switching the new technology SDN, software defined network, if the controller is down, no communication will happen usually. But the wireless, you are absolutely true. Yeah.
I think in SDN basically is providing you the software-defined networking uh, for the routing, switching up to layer 7. So uh, I don't know, mean what type of SDN you are talking. I don't know exactly. But every SDN, all the vendors, Cisco or Fortinet, they are also providing their SDN functionality. You can integrate with your within your data center. VMware is providing. Still trying to pull. I think its size is too high. I can go directly to the Docker Hub. Let's see what is the size of this.
Calico is the vast thing where we can play a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of things. This is the biggest one. In production, mostly per Calico is used.
Calico.
WeaveNet is not. You can use WeaveNet too, but if you want to go advanced level,
So how many CNI still Cisco has on, Fortinet has on, Aruba has on, or they are using this all Calico they are using, or
um, actually Cisco and those are all SDN are provided. If you want to, take the leverage of your physical network, just like you are using VPN, physical Cisco hardware VPN you are using. You want to replace Cisco uh, big firewall with the software defined, then you will use that specific vendor product as SDN. All the vendors are not providing SDN for Kubernetes. These are the third-party vendors who design these SDN. I don't know exactly. Maybe Cisco is providing some SDN for Kubernetes or not. Its size is, I think its size is not more than 200 MB.
maybe we have to restart. Is this?
No, it should pull down, but it will give you error, right, if it is not pulled down. The same issue. The same issue is the DNS is not resolvable and DNS is down.
Yeah.
So what I will do, okay, that it is trying to pull the image from but the worker, no, it is it is pulling down by the
Yeah.
worker node. Worker node
Yeah.
has the DNSSX. That is not, worker node is not dependent on this CNI DNS.
One DNS was working fine. One was not.
So, no, for that DNS is only for port to port, name to IP resolution.
Okay. Okay.
That DNS is not for the worker master nodes. Worker master nodes are using their own DNS IP.
Uh-huh.
You can go to this worker node, you can see cat/etc resolve.com. This IP is used by worker node.
Okay. Uh-huh.
This Ethernet and trusted whatever written. When you configure your network part while installing the Ubuntu, whatever DNS you define.
Same resolved within that.
Okay, the solution is, let me kubectl delete this pod from this namespace. It will try to launch it again because this is not a standalone pod when just like we launched. When we delete our pod, it will not relaunch. But these pods are managed by the controller, so those will be launch again. Yeah, now you can see it's
Yeah.
running. Okay, actually, I think something now. Let me, the ID of the container you can see is also changed. Let me just look on. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I deleted it. I had to, no problem. It will create again. It will create again. And I had to describe. Not found. Pod. ID is changed. Okay, started and everything is mentioned here. Okay, now everything is good. So let me launch some new services. I have on my master node or this manifest kubectl apply, and this app1, app3, both I can apply at the same time. Sorry. Yeah, I can apply at the same time only one. F3. So you can see it is running. You can see it's running, and it this IP is obtained by this worker node 2. So it has a different way of managing the routes. You can see. So this route is still conflicting with the WeaveNet. So I need to just reboot all the machines. It will remove automatically. So what IP is allocated to this pod is directly reachable from within the cluster. Uh, just a minute. I think this container is uh, this this IP is created. This IP is only reachable from that specific worker node 2. Yes. So this is the difference in WeaveNet and Cilium. That means WeaveNet was making connectivity across the cluster. It is only making connectivity from that worker node. But pod-to-pod communication will work fine. Let me just quickly have a pod-to-pod communication test. It is also running. It is running, and kubectl. Hmm. This is a
Same issue.
problem. Yeah, DNS I need to delete. Oh, sorry, I'm inside the
Yeah,
pod.
it's inside the port. Yeah.
Hmm. kubectl.
Uh-huh.
Screen is stopped.
Sorry. What
Screen share
happened?
stuck. Yes, now it's working. Screen sharing was stuck actually. I don't know it's on my end or it's now running.
Oh, okay. So just let me do this quick test from one pod to another pod. Its reachability. So this is the app 1 pod, and I will ping to app 3 having IP. Just this one. If I do a curl,
Check the route. Maybe the WeaveNet is still again
yeah,
problem.
maybe the WeaveNet is making conflict. So I need to reboot all these machines. Yes, this is a problem with the WeaveNet. So, but it will be reachable. So what I will do, I am just rebooting all the machines. So in the tomorrow session, we will just take a look on this WeaveNet, this Calico health, and we will resume with the rest of the part that about the deployment and replica set and daemon set. What are these resources? How those are managed by the Cube controller manager. Okay. So any question? Okay, so we are done for today. Tomorrow we will resume from with the new topic I mentioned in the group.
Okay, boss.